On Fulton Today, a community comes together as one to start the healing process between residents and law enforcement officials. And Superior Court's Family Division welcomes in new leadership. That and more starts right now on Fulton Today. Welcome to Fulton Today. I'm Dante Carter in for Shania Chavis Rucker. The first step to the healing process is to start a conversation. Right here in Fulton County, law enforcement and the community began that process. FGTV's Priscilla Ortega has the story.
The panel and open discussion between law enforcement and the community did exactly that, bring people together as one. Now, the goal of this event was to bring a greater understanding that the police department is here to serve and protect. It was also a chance for the community to share some of their concerns.
So tonight is not about mudslinging or blaming. Rather, we have come together in love to dialogue respectfully.
Youth, parents, police, and fire officials sat side by side to have an open discussion with the community.
The national saga that's happening right now with racism and citizens versus police officers is a national saga that we don't really want to see played out on our local level.
After recent police-involved shootings in parts of the country, residents are hoping to improve the relationship between law enforcement and the community here at home. Fulton County Police Chief Gary Stiles says the interaction police have with residents is two-sided.
In my 35 years, attitude has had a lot to do with whether I said have a nice day with a warning or have a nice day with a citation.
Most of the questions the panel answered at Cliftondale United Methodist Church came from the residents. One question was, how should drivers respond when pulled over?
And all I told them was the same thing I've told my children and I've told my grandchildren, is that you show respect. Even though you're mad because you got pulled over or because you got stopped, calm down, show a little respect.
Organizers say this event was very well received from all sides, so more talks are in the future between police and the community. Reporting from downtown Atlanta, I'm Priscilla Ortega for FGTV.
Thank you, Priscilla. And in other news, in police involved in the community, Fulton's finest enjoyed a night out for crime and drug prevention. More on that story coming up in our district-by-district coverage. After 18 months of class time, therapy, and counseling, a group of residents are ready to start a new life.
He stands today with the highest number of clean days in this class, 681 days.
Family members and friends packed Assembly Hall to support their loved ones graduating from Superior Court's Drug Court. Held 4 times a year, it's an accountability court program designed to give defendants a chance to get clean with support, as long as they stay committed to turning their lives around.
Drug court was a very good experience for me. I'm gonna say a good experience because it taught me who I was really, because I really didn't know with all the masks I had to wear through my addiction. But when I went through the MRT program, it really made me look at me for who I had become and made me look at who I really wanted to be.
In order to graduate, the individuals must have clean drug screens, attend group and individual sessions, participate in community service, and they must be actively working to get a job. While these graduate success story is a positive one, getting through the program is no easy task.
We saw the success stories today, but for every success story, every graduate, there are a couple folks who don't make it because it's hard. It's hard to fight an addiction, and we support them as much as we can, but if their heart's not in it or the circumstances aren't right, they get terminated from drug court, and that's depressing.
Though the graduates won't wear their medal every day, it's an achievement they will always remember. The Superior Court of Fulton County's Family Division is now under new leadership, and joining us now live to discuss her new role as Chief Judge is Judge Jane Barwick. Judge Barwick, congratulations and thank you so much for joining us. Can you just tell us a little bit about what this new role means for you?
Dante, thank you very much. And while it certainly means the world to me personally, because I'm been a part of the family division either as a practicing attorney or as a judge for the past year and a half, But I think more importantly, it just means the world to me to be able to work on not only maintaining the excellent court and the excellent division and reputation that we have now, but also working very hard to make improvements where we can.
And can you talk to us a little bit about the Superior Court of Fulton County's Family Division, just for those who don't know about it?
Statewide, there was a movement in the 1990s, originally spearheaded by Governor Zell Miller, to look at courts with specialty jurisdiction. And the concept of a full-time family court was studied very closely and studied all around the country. In Georgia and in Fulton County in particular, we took that next step and undertook a pilot project in which we developed a court within a court, if you will. And so we really undertook a very strategic, definitive move to have judges and staff full-time devoted to the issues that are so important to our citizens of family law, families, and children.
And what do you hope to accomplish as Chief Judge?
So what I hope to offer is primarily a continuity of the fine leadership that we've had. But I gotta be honest, I have a little bit of an ambition where improvements are concerned. But the first and foremost was we came up with a task force, a family division task force. And so I view my role over the next year as picking up from the, if you will, low-hanging fruit of that task force recommendation that we were able to put into effect pretty immediately and very, very economically.
And why is family law so important to you?
Without question. If you just look at our citizenry as a whole, the number one area that someone is going to come into contact with the court system in Fulton County is going to be through family law, whether it's through their children and custody situations, or through divorces, or through seeking child support or the enforcement of child support. Without question, this is where we come into contact with the people in our jurisdiction.
And what are your final thoughts about Fulton County's Family Division?
It is a court with great resourcefulness and great creativity that has managed to sustain a huge subject matter on the crafty use of resources.
Judge Barwick, thank you so much for your time.
Again, Dante, I want to thank you and I want to thank your viewers for having me on merely as a representative of a truly great organization that's working hard every day.
And if you would like to learn more about the Superior Court of Fulton County's Family Division, you can log on to fultoncourt.org/family. And speaking of families, some local four-legged friends are finding new homes up north thanks to Animal Services. It's part of a rescue program that transports animals to rescue facilities up north where people are waiting to adopt them. Because Animal Services brings in about 25 animals a day, it's impossible to adopt all of them or transfer them to local rescue groups.
So rather than euthanize those animals, we work with some rescue organizations in the north who are willing to receive the animals, where they have adopters actually waiting to adopt some of the pets from here in the south.
And before being transferred, the animals have to be quarantined away from the facility for 2 weeks, and that's where foster parents come into play locally.
We need people to open up their homes for a 2 to 4 week period to just temporarily house these animals prior to transport. And we send about 30 animals a month, every month.
And if you would like to help foster, you can call Fulton County Animal Services at 404-613-0358. Students in the Junior Deputy Clerks program are given a grand send-off, while Junior DA participants are on the receiving end of a 911 call.
And I'm going to give you the rest of the medical instructions and help is en route, okay? And I'm also going to contact Animal Control for you, okay?
The junior DAs made a trip to the 911 call center to experience a day in the life of a 911 operator. From learning how information is gathered to how it's relayed, it was truly an eye-opening experience.
Today I learned that the calls here, they're very important. So in order for them to take the calls very seriously, they need like a quiet environment, and they also use your location, so they need you to tell your destination very clearly, and they don't, like, you need to speak clearly because they can't hear you and they won't be able to help you if they don't know what you're saying.
And it was a sad but happy day as the clerk's department said goodbye to those participating in the Junior Deputy Clerk's Summer Internship Program.
My experience with the Junior Deputy Clerk intern program, it was very inspirational. I learned different things according to law, even though that's not my occupation path. But it left me with new things to learn and to take into consideration.
From becoming exposed to careers in local government to earning community service hours required for high school graduation, each student gained valuable hands-on experience during the 6-week program. And still to come, details of an upcoming back-to-school event that truly takes a village to organize. It's part of our district-by-district coverage next. A county commissioner shares his thoughts on reform in the justice system. And it truly does take a village to start the school year off right. Here's this week's district-by-district coverage. Chairman John Eves was invited to speak at the 2nd annual John Lewis Fellowship Program. Addressing the John Lewis Fellows, the commissioner discussed his proposed goals to lead reform in the justice system.
Very impressive to see millennials who are involved in this discussion. And we talked about advocacy in terms of how they need to not only be active, show activism, but advocacy is the next step in terms of engagement with elected officials. So it was a great dialogue.
Program leaders were impressed with the chairman's recent leadership of the Interfaith Roundtable, where he brought together organizational leaders and the chief of police following the most recent Black Lives Matter demonstrations. In District 5, Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr., along with Friends of Wolf Creek, the Chick-fil-A Foundation, and the Atlanta Fulton Public Library System are helping the South Fulton County community kick off the school year with his 2nd annual It Takes a Village Back to School event. It takes place Friday, August 19th at the Wolf Creek Library. The event will include school supply distributions to approximately 1,000 students on a first-come, first-served basis, along with the announcement of the winners of the 2nd annual It Takes a Village essay competition.
We're very excited about this. It's our 2nd annual It Takes a Village essay contest. And the topic for this year is, what is your solution to the Life Matters problem? Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter. We're looking for our college students, our children, to perhaps provide some solutions that maybe some of us older people have not thought about, or are too jaded, or have too much of one perspective versus another. And maybe our children can find a way and lead us.
For more information, including time and the address, visit the county's website at fultoncountyga.gov. And in District 6, Fulton's finest took a night off to enjoy a night out against crime. The 2016 National Night Out took place at the Crow's Nest 112 Megaplex in College Park. This annual crime and drug prevention event has the Fulton County Police Department joining with agencies across the country to help make neighborhoods safe places to live, work, and play.
It gives me great honor and pleasure to be involved in a community activity such as this, taking in consideration everything that's been going on in the world today. We need this. We need to know that our police officers, that they really care about us, that their heart is in it, and all policemen aren't bad. So it gives me great pleasure to participate and be a part of it.
What a wonderful time for all of us to come together. We want to thank all of the law enforcement agencies of Fulton County, not only for this night out, but for every night out, that they are here to help us make this an even safer and healthier community. wonderful, wonderful meeting. We're so happy to be here, and let's do it for our children.
The Atlanta Dream, along with other companies and businesses, made it an evening of learning, entertainment, and healthy fun for all ages. For more information about National Night Out, you can call 404-612-5310. And now you can catch more of your commissioners at work all this week with a rebroadcast of the Board of Commissioners meeting right here on FGTV. And when we come back, we're helping your star student beat the heat during those after-school activities. Kids are back in school, but the temperatures are still soaring in the summer heat. That means extra precautions need to be taken when they're outdoors. FGTV's Lynn Vaughn explains.
Whether playing for fun or practicing for a competition, extra precautions need to be taken when playing sports outside in hot temperatures.
When the air gets hot, when it gets humid, then it becomes less efficient. We can't radiate heat. The sweat doesn't evaporate to cool us, so it's very difficult in our hot and humid Georgia summers to get rid of that excess body heat.
The Deputy Director of the Department of Health and Wellness, Dr. David Sarno, says taking precautions is key. Here are his recommendations. Make sure children are fully hydrated before they go outside to exercise. Avoid having them outside between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And have them take breaks, which could mean practicing for 30 minutes and resting for 30. If precautions aren't taken, Dr. Sarno warns, that can lead to dehydration.
Related to dehydration is heat cramps, especially in our active kids and our sports kids. That's involved both with dehydration and losing fluids, but also in a slight loss of electrolytes as the muscles get overworked in the heat.
Dr. Sarno also warns if body temperatures reach 103 degrees, that can affect the brain.
When the brain starts getting affected, you start noticing symptoms like confusion, delirium, even unconsciousness, and coma in very, very severe cases. And that's what we call heat stroke.
Now, if you suspect someone is suffering from a heat stroke, call for medical help immediately. But here's what to do in the meantime. Take off any bulky clothing or equipment the child might have on. Take them to a cool, shady area. Give the child cool but not cold water, and place a cool washcloth on him or her. These steps can ensure a safe time on the field and court this school year. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Lynn Vaughn.
And teachers become the students as they learn better ways to incorporate physical education into the curriculum. The county's partnership to improve community health, our PITCH program, is showing teachers how to make PE and recess time more enjoyable, active, and inclusive for every child. PITCH has already trained hundreds of Fulton County school teachers and is now working with Atlanta public school instructors.
We are hoping to lower the incidence of chronic disease and to impact health disparities throughout Fulton County by increasing opportunities for physical activity in our school setting.
We're providing the teachers professional development as to how to increase the physical activity in the classroom, and hopefully that this will carry out into other areas of the students' lives and they become more physically active and engaged.
The Spark Creative PE curriculum is recognized by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention as a model program designed to combat childhood obesity. Members of an HIV organization gathered to recognize the life-changing measures they're making. Inez Incorporated brought staff and clients together to share how the organization has made a positive impact in their lives.
One of the things that we do and we emphasize is that we call our clients members. So members actually feel like they're part of a group, of a family. So we make sure that we want to acknowledge our clients and let them know they are just as important as our staff members.
The Inez organization believes there should not be shame or guilt associated with HIV. Staff members encourage their clients to have open communication about their experience.
Inez is advocate for them, where we have our meetings and everything, the private, and we talk about things that involve HIV and things that bother us, So therefore, it's a way of being an outlet for our HIV status.
Inez, which is based in downtown Atlanta, offers substance abuse counseling and support services for individuals impacted by or at risk for HIV. Inez also hosts a number of free HIV testing events. Those who test positive for the virus are linked into care immediately. To learn more about Inez, call 404-521-2410. Some future professional basketball stars are flying high thanks to the Atlanta Hawks. We'll explain why next on Fulton Today. The library system is welcoming seniors who need to escape the heat. Seniors who may not have air conditioning can get relief at their local library, especially on the weekend. Seniors can go to 32 Fulton County libraries that are open on Saturday and 14 on Sunday.
We welcome any individual seeking relief from the soaring temperatures to visit one of our libraries as a place to cool down and also to engage in the various programs that we have to offer, or even just to enjoy a quiet, cool space.
While at the library, seniors can take part in any of the weekend activities, including yoga and meditation classes. To see which branches are open on Saturday and Sunday, go to afpls.org and click on library locations. And finally today, the next generation of Atlanta Hawks is getting new skills. The Junior Hawks basketball program at Welcome All Park is a fun and quality experience for boys and girls. The kids get professional instruction from qualified coaches in the Hawks Foundation. They also experience special appearances from staff and players.
I think a lot of kids in the community, especially in a community like Ben Hill's, they have a lot of dreams, and sometimes they need someone to push them a little bit harder just so that they can have the faith and the hope to reach those goals.
We teach from the very basics up, so we're talking basics of shooting, ball handling, passing, defense, basketball terminology, team concepts, how to be a good teammate, how to be unselfish, how to work hard, fitness and wellness as well. So it's kind of all-encompassing.
This is the second year for the NBA Quality Basketball Camp for Children. It's part of a partnership between the Hawks Foundation and the Parks and Recreation Department. Before we go, our reminder that we do want to connect with you online. Check us out on our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and even our YouTube channel. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Dante Carter in for Shania Chavis Rucker. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.